If only we recorded the report right before we recorded. Just great conversations going on.
Listen, I am on air so much. I say so many things that are permanently on the internet. I write so many things that are permanently out there. If my entire world were recorded, I don't know, Dad. Yeah,
Hey, guess what? I put on social media things that are there forever.
I know that back in the day, it was a little more serious when you would think that you were texting something private and you would actually be tweeting. So there was a time when Twitter worked like text messages.
Yes.
And then sometimes you would send pictures of things that you meant to like send to me or somebody else, and they got posted. And then people who think they know better screen grab those things and then they interpret them with their own little like tinfoil hat.
Totally wrong.
And they're I mean, I loved the one where we put out some church answers numbers. You remember that one? Mm-hmm. Where it was some internal church answers numbers and some projections that we had. And it was some estimates on like membership numbers or something. And they thought that that's what you were making like every month. Like Thom Rainer makes this amount every month. And they put that out there, all that stuff. And
I was a millionaire.
Yeah. It's like, you are so far off. It is unbelievable that you would even.
Pretty stupid. Some of the things I put out there. We're not going to.
Well, no, it's your fault. It's your fault that you put it out there. But it's hilarious what people read into it.
And Sam, to this day, I don't know how I did that. Not that one. I know how I did some of them, but on that particular one, I wasn't trying to send that to anybody.
Oh man! This has nothing to do with the episode.
Amy called me. She says, I took it down. What did you take down?
Yeah, I love it. We get a kick out of that. And these angry people, these trolls that think they have all the answers. And it's like, okay, you can run with it if you like. You're so far off. We're talking about the unknown connection most unchurched have with the church. Did you know that most unchurched people have some past connection to the church? Often from childhood. 63%. 63% of the unchurched said that they used to attend regularly.
And the thing about it is we have this stereotype, we churchgoers have the stereotype of church members. I mean, of church unchurched, let me put it that way. We have the stereotype of unchurched, and it hurts our relationships with those people to come in with those stereotypes. I mean, it's like saying, hi, my name is Thom. I want you to be very calm because I'm about to talk to you about Jesus. Be good. Be good.
Yeah, there is often a connection with the church, although biblical illiteracy rates are very high and people get confused easily, and confusion is the killer. And that's why people often don't come back when they come, is because while they may have a previous connection, they don't understand what's going on now. So we'll work through that here in just a moment. But before we do, want to thank Tyndale, our sponsor for today's episode. I love the New Living Translation. Oh my goodness. I think it's great. I just preached at the time of this recording, Romans 9. I
know Romans 9. Mm-hmm. That's some people's favorite chapter.
It's some people's favorite chapter, yes. And it's for most of you, you know how controversial that part of Romans can be. And I preached it out of the New Living, and I had so many ahas with my church. I'm preaching through Romans right now. And there are so many people that are coming to me and they are saying, I'm actually understanding this. I've always heard that Romans was only for the elite academic scholars. And it's like, no, this God's word. It can be understood by everybody. And what's helping them is not my preaching. What's helping them is the New Living Translation.
I've listened to some of your sermons on that, or at least I've listened to your synopsis of them in your little video sessions, and you're preaching it well.
Well, go check out the Life Application Study Bible. If you're wondering which one do I get, well, Life Application Study Bible. We've got a link in the show notes, and you need to go check out everything that they have to offer, not just the Life Application Study Bible. They got a lot of great Bibles at Tyndale, so highly recommend. Thumbs up to Tyndale. All right, so 63% of the unchurched, people who are no longer going to church, say that they used to attend regularly. And for most of them, it's, as a child, right? I went in elementary school. I went through Catholic school, not this Catholic school. I went through the Catholic church process with my parents. And after that, I kind of faded away. I mean, we hear these things all the time, but this is important because we often treat the unchurched as if they have zero connection,
They're
as if they have,
aliens from another world.
they're not aliens from another world. That's exactly right. They will. So there's this balance, because we often talk about, as we did in a previous episode, about make sure that you don't use crazy language, church language, acronyms that nobody knows. Let's speak in a way that people can understand. Let's make sure that they are treated with hospitality. So all the things that you've heard about making sure that the unchurched feel welcome are true, but you don't need to treat them as if they are completely detached. Some are. Approximately 37% are. So about 1/3 of these new people, if they're unchurched, are going to be like, I have no idea. I've never set foot in a church. But 2/3 are going to be like, yeah, I went to church as a kid, had a great time. I know what VBS is because I went and all that stuff. So
They know that acronym.
What's that?
They know the acronym.
Oh, that's right. I am guilty as charged. I went to VBS. Yeah, a person that's of the 37%, not the 63%, would be like, I don't know what VBS is.
Venus Bohemian Society.
Yeah, it's not that. It's not that.
Hey, let me go down just a path. Just give me 90 seconds to go down this path. What's the difference between this? This is not for you, Sam. It is rhetorical, but then I'll probably answer it, so it won't be rhetorical. What is the difference between those who were in church as children who came back and those who didn't? Or what's the difference between the children who stayed and didn't leave at all? Shameless plug for my book, The Anxious Generation Goes to Church, but I have that research in there. You can put it in easy fractions if you want to. If you go to church with your child and you're a mother, and it's just mom and the children alone, the chance of that child going to church, returning to church in adulthood, is about 1/3, 33%. Okay. If you are father only, the return rate is 67%, about 2/3. So about double that. If both parents go, it doesn't go up that much. It goes to 72%. So you see the key role of the father in that. I put it in The Anxious Generation Goes to Church because so many of the anxious generation did not have that father figure, and therefore they got away from church. That's an aside, but I wanted to talk about it.
Really, really good point. And it's a good pre-point. So point 0. What's point 1? Assume that people are familiar, but not hostile. And it's okay if you learn like, wow, you know nothing. Well, let me explain everything. Let me sit down with you. You should be doing that with everyone anyway. I think the main issue here is that a lot of times when we hear about somebody being unchurched and they're actually like beginning to show up to church, or they are a quote unquote first time guest, if they're walking through the doors, it is likely, highly, highly likely, that they're going to have some familiarity with the church.
Exactly.
And they're not hostile. So don't treat them as if they may be hostile. You don't have to, you yourself don't have to be on edge about it.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's a disposition. It's not that you're screaming at them, yelling at them, and telling them they're sinners going to hell. It's a disposition that you can be comfortable with these people because they know a lot that you don't think they know. And that's the important point of this entire podcast.
Yeah. So I can think of some interactions that I've had at some local businesses. And it doesn't happen that often, but they assume you're in a bad mood or you're going to be hostile. And you walk in and you're like, listen, I'm cool. I'm fine. I just want a cheeseburger, or whatever it is. Like, why are you treating me this way? So it's a weird sort of demeanor that you have when you're assuming that someone's going to be hostile. And this could be even like inviting somebody to church. Like you're like waiting on them to get triggered. And most people won't be. So for a lot of the unchurched, they're actually dechurched. And by dechurched, we mean like, it was probably a long time ago for a lot of them.
Yeah.
Most of them children, but they at least have some connection in their brains with the church. All right. Point 2. Past church experiences, good or bad, do shape current attitudes.
Boy,
So
is that
even
true.
even if this was a long time ago, so there are some people that do have church hurt and can be triggered. So I know I'm kind of talking out both sides of my mouth a little bit here.
But they all exist. You are talking out both sides of your mouth because both exist.
Right, right. And the best way to figure all this out is simply to ask people. Just be like, "Oh, are you familiar with us? Have you been to church before? Tell me about why you're here." And a lot of that's going to come out. And when you learn that they have returned to church after having some sort of hurt that has that has surfaced in their life because of a church connection, well, then okay, I need to make sure that I treat this person with the understanding that there is some sort of church hurt. And even worse, if there's trauma associated with a past experience of a church. So those past church experiences do shape current attitudes. When people come to us, that we have about a 20 to 25% of our church has a Catholic background.
It's amazing.
30%, we're a Baptist church, but only 30% have a Baptist background, which is kind of wild. But we have people from all over the place. The reason people come to West Braden is like, "Oh, you preach the Bible. I just want a church that preaches the Bible." We hear that all the time.
Yep.
So when people come to our church from a Catholic experience, particularly childhood, and that's really all they have all sorts of questions. Like, wow, the music, wow, communion, baptism. Like they know these terms a little bit. They're like, this is so different than what I remember. And it's like, yeah, it is. Let me walk you through that. Let me walk you through some of the distinctions here. So my point is, they're glad to be at my church, but those past church experiences still inform their expectations and their attitudes.
I was talking in the parking lot at your brother's church to a relatively young man, 30ish, who has become a follower of Christ. It's an incredible story. He was walking by and Jess was putting up a sign for the church early Sunday morning, and he stopped. He said, "I need to get baptized." And Jess said, "Well, let's go talk." Ended up becoming a follower of Christ that day. Great story. I've gotten to know him because he does not drive. He walks to church, and he walked into the parking lot and he said, "Thom, I got a question. It's been bugging me." He said, I know I should know this because I'm a Christian now. What's the difference between Lord's Supper and communion?
Yeah. Well, and there would be some groups that would say there is a difference. And
communion
terms that get used for very intentional.
Lord's Supper would be the most symbolic of all of them compared to communion, but it's not communion as in Catholicism.
That's correct. And we are a good open communion Baptist church at West Bradenton. And by open communion, I mean it's available to believers, but any believer. And
just
please,
total heresy.
Well, you know what? We are an open violation of the Baptist faith and message. Please do not kick me out of the Southern Baptist Convention for that.
They could lose a lot of churches if they did that.
There are a lot of churches that are with us on that. Yes. So that's probably why they have not gone there just yet. But that's another conversation for another day. So we're halfway through. What's the unknown connection? The unknown connection is that a lot of people had a connection at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to assume that they are familiar and they're not hostile. So let's assume the best of people. If they're coming to your church, let's assume the best of them. While saying that, those past experiences, good or bad, can shape their current attitudes and their current expectations and will prompt them to have questions. Thirdly, holiday services, key re-entry points. So like, okay, how do I get these people who are dechurched reconnected?
You make sure you always have a Christmas Eve service. Always have a Christmas Eve service. Don't neglect the Christmas Eve service. Put a lot of resources into your Christmas Eve service. Pastor, if you're going home to open gifts on Christmas Eve, don't.
You're doing it wrong. I feel very strongly about that. But it's your church. You can lead it however you want to lead it, and I can't do anything about it, and that's fine. But yeah, if you do not have a Christmas Eve service, boy, you are missing an opportunity.
Huge opportunity, more than any other day.
You know how we get information from everyone on our Christmas Eve services?
You put them in a chokehold and say, "I'm not going to let you go until you write on this card."
We've had a couple people try that. It has not worked out well
Not
for
effective,
us.
right?
Not effective. Not effective. So we do a giveaway in service. Now we do it in a very tactful way. So we have a gigantic Christmas gift basket, and it's like big, and it's got like a $300 Amazon gift card and all this stuff. So it's one that people are like, ooh, I want that. And we do it in each of our services. And we tell everyone that's there, if you are new here, we love your information. We're going to follow up with you. But if you give us your information, if you text your information to this number, we kind of spell it out for them, you'll be entered into a raffle. And I won't say raffle, but we're not doing bingo.
And after that,
we're going to enter into a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway. Wrong. Boy, I've been doing too many podcast episodes today. You're going to be entered into a giveaway for this gift. And so we're very clear about what we're doing. And, some people are like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I don't want to give them my information. That's fine. We get a ton of follow-ups.
Really?
And guess what? The best time to follow up with people is between Christmas Eve and New Year's, because most people are off, most people are home, most people will pick up their phones and they will talk. And so we take that time. I know it's like, but that's my downtime. Oh, but that's the time when we're all on vacation. I understand that, but you can still split up the phone calls among your staff if you have a staff or volunteers and make 2 or 3 during that week. That's not hard. And that's what we do. And we have had so much fruit from that.
I just going down the path of churches that don't do Christmas Eve service just bugs me.
Well, and the reason it does, and it bugs me too, is because we know statistically of the opportunity missed.
Right.
Because 50% typically, now your church may be different. It could be higher or lower, but typically in a given Christmas Eve service, 50% of people will be guests.
And you can have an early one if you're able to have flexibility on the time. You can have an early one and then enjoy the rest of Christmas Eve with your family. It's not like you have it at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
Well, we do ours at 4 and 6, although we're probably going to have to add one this year because we're growing. 4 and 6 for us. And a lot of times we'll pick the times based upon when Christmas Eve falls. It's different if it's in the work week, because a lot of people still work Christmas Eve as opposed to on the weekend. So there's some common sense things there. But the point is that you have one. You have a Christmas Eve service. And because you're going to have so many guests, particularly people that are unchurched, you find a way to get their information so that you can follow up with them. Do it in an above board way. Let them know what you're doing, of course. And if people don't want to give you their information, well, that's their right. They don't have to give you their information. But man, we have seen so much success with that connection point.
So you don't recommend telling these guests on Christmas Eve, if you don't fill out this information or text it to us or fill out a card, you'll go to hell. That's probably not the best approach.
Yeah, we tried that one year, and it fell on. It didn't land well. Let me just say that. No, we did not say that. Of course not. Last point. Reaching the unchurched begins by rebuilding broken or neglected bridges. Oh man, how many times have we said that churches, while previous outreach efforts may have been poorly implemented, we canceled all these programs and didn't replace them with anything else. I think that's one of the major themes of Rainer on Leadership is we have neglected outreach. We have shut the bridge down. We just closed the bridge and we didn't build another one. So if you want to reach the unchurched, you have to have an ongoing evangelism emphasis. You have to have an ongoing outreach emphasis. This is something that you have to do regularly. Dad, you and I recommend starting quarterly. And one of the great ways to begin this process is with the Hope Initiative. We've seen so much success with the Hope Initiative.
Then the Good News Neighbor Toolkit, then Invite Your One. Those are 3 resources that we have that can set your church up for outreach year round. Just as simple as that.
So link in the show notes. We'll just recommend the Hope Initiative because I think that's the one. If you're like, I need to get started, Hope Initiative is a great place to get started. You can find all the others at churchanswers.com as well.
I got chastised yesterday on the Hope Initiative.
Chastised?
Mm-hmm. In a good way. I was doing an interview on my book, Anxious Generation Goes to Church, with someone that I did not know. And she She said, "You need to be talking more about the Hope Initiative. You're not talking as much about it as you used to."
Fair enough.
Okay, I will.
Well, here we go. I
Here
didn't
we
even
go.
know that, and I brought it up.
Yep.
Holy Spirit moment. There we go.
Yeah.
Somebody out there, somebody out there needed to hear this.
And you know this. I haven't said it on Rental Leadership, but I'm doing a lot of mommy blogger, type of interviews. The women because they want to talk about the part about the family and the next generation. And she just told me, she said, "That's one of the best things that Church Answers ever put out. You just need to talk about it." I will.
If ever there was a spot where you would be most awkward and out of place, it would be on one of the mom podcasts or mommy blogger kind of things. Yeah.
Been on a lot of them. And
there's some good ones. I don't listen. I'll be real. Not my jam, but my wife does. And guess what? My wife doesn't listen to Ring Around Leadership. Hey, Aaron, you're not listening.
Really?
But she does tune into a lot of those, and she loves them because they're very practical and very good for the families. So,
absolutely.
All right, there you go. The unknown connection most unchurched people have with the church is the fact that they were previously connected. And guess what? We have closed all those bridges, and it is time to start rebuilding them. And one way that you can do that is with Upward. They have so many programs, and now is the time. So it's October. If this airs when we think it's going to air, it's time to start planning for 2026. You can do outreach through sports. And just like the Christmas Eve service, where about 50% are guests, when a church launches an Upward program, whatever sport that they're choosing to do, typically it's 50% of your church that's involved and 50% of the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And it's a perfect mix for your people to start getting involved with the community and actually having a relational connection. Upward does this better than anybody else. They have really been on a tear of late. That may not be the best term, but they have been doing incredibly well. All of these new programs that they've been launching, whether it be running or pickleball, whatever it is, they've been doing great. They're programs that they've had for forever, like basketball and soccer and flag football. Those are still doing awesome too. So they're still doing their 2 free net sets, Dad. It was while supplies last, but I think they ordered some more supplies there. So,
for sure.
So yeah, go check them out. Upward.org/pickleball if you want to claim one of your 2 free net sets. And then if you just want to go check out all their programs, go to upward.org/churchanswers. Both of those links are in the show notes. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's episode. We will see you in the next episode. But while you are down there in the show notes, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Go rate, review, and subscribe if you have a podcasting app. And if you're watching via churchanswers.com, which I know a lot of people do, we're glad you were there. Go click on the Hope Initiative. Go find that.
True.
And
already there. Just go to Hope Initiative.
Go put it in your cart and get started on outreach. We'll see everyone in the next episode.